Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so we've been following all these confirmation hearings, and it's been an absolute blast so far. But I gotta tell you, there's been one confirmation hearing in particular that I've just been waiting on the edge of my seat, ready to pump it straight into my veins. And that's of course the Tulsi hearing. And you might be asking why that is, and I'd say it's because of the whole story, it's the whole circumstance. Tulsi Gabbard has seen it all. She's been through it. She was in the Democrat machine. She saw exactly how they operate. And I've just been waiting for her to be given the opportunity to sit in front of all of these people, especially these Democrats, her former colleagues, and to just go in. And lo and behold, folks, that's exactly what happened. Tulsi Gabbard does not disappoint, not even close. I mean, if you were waiting for a confirmation hearing with some actual fire, we just got it. She absolutely torched the Obama-Biden corrupt machine in a way that you'll never see covered by the leftist media. And that, of course, is why they hate her so much. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so there was a lot of good moments during this Tulsi Gabbard event, but this moment right here, this clip, was absolutely my favorite. Go ahead and take a look.
The American people elected Donald Trump as their president not once, but twice. And yet the FBI and intelligence agencies were politicized by his opponents to undermine his presidency and falsely portray him as a puppet of Putin. Title I of FISA was used illegally to obtain a warrant to spy on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page, using a Clinton campaign-funded false dossier as their so-called evidence. Biden campaign advisor Tony Blinken was the impetus for the 51 former senior intelligence officials' letter dismissing Hunter Biden's laptop as disinformation specifically to help Biden win the election. Former DNI James Clapper lied to this committee in 2013, denying the existence of programs that facilitated the mass collection of millions of Americans' phone and internet records, yet was never held accountable. Under John Brennan's leadership, the CIA abused its power to spy on Congress, to dodge oversight, lied about doing it until he was caught, and yet has never been held responsible. Under Biden, the FBI abused its power for political reasons to try to surveil Catholics who attend traditional Latin Mass, labeling them as quote-unquote radical traditionalist Catholics. Personally, just 24 hours after I criticized Kamala Harris and her nomination, I was placed on a secret domestic terror watch list called Quiet Skies. Sadly, there are more examples. The bottom line is this must end.
It's just perfect, and it carries so much more weight coming from her. Coming from a Democrat or a former Democrat, and also somebody who's been the target of their wicked ways. The Democrats have spent years labeling everything that Trump has said as either a lie, a mistruth, or a conspiracy theorist. Yet here we are, we have a former Democrat who's blowing the whistle on all of it. She starts off with the FISA warrant scandal, where they spied on the Trump campaign, and they got that warrant based on totally bogus information. Just a coup to unseat a duly elected president, coming from the side that's always talking about protecting democracy. What an absolute farce. She went after John Brennan and his cronies, who pushed that fake letter declaring the Hunter Biden laptop as having all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation to interfere with the 2020 election. She's basically going after all the stories that the left hates the most and that the left has tried to diminish and dismiss as right-wing conspiracy theories. Yeah, not so much. She exposed it all to their faces. And she's got the facts straight, especially on the letter signed by those 51 former intelligence officials, where she involves Tony Blinken and describes the whole thing as an operation to interfere with the election to give the Biden campaign something to push back on the Trump campaign with at the time. Her description was perfect. And let's get the receipts, shall we? We all remember this infamous email from Mike Morell to John Brennan. This is what she was indirectly referring to. Mike Morell writes to Brennan, "John, can I add your name to the list? We'll be adding Leon, Sue Gordon, Jay Johnson, George, Lisa Monaco, and Mike Rogers, and working on Dan Coates, Mike Rogers from another department, and Tom Bassert, and lots of other intelligence community career folk, trying to give the campaign, particularly during the debate on Thursday, a talking point to push back on Trump on this issue. Thanks, Michael." Oh, and boy, did they summon that talking point.
All the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation.
Disinformation.
Russian disinformation.
Russian disinformation.
Russian playbook disinformation.
I mean, straight up corruption, election interference, and manipulation. And Tulsi Gabbard shows up and just frickin' says it exactly how it is. Like I said earlier, she's going straight for the stories that they hate the most, and she's calling them all out by name. She's basically laying the important groundwork for cleaning house in Washington, and hopefully restoring some kind of actual integrity to these intelligence agencies. And like I keep alluding to, I think she's the perfect person for the job, not only because she's a former Democrat, but also because she knows all too well the game that they play. She's been their target. And she briefly mentioned that as she was put on a watch list after criticizing Kamala Harris's nomination. I mean, think about that for a second. You criticize Kamala and suddenly you're a national security risk? Yeah, pretty much sounds about right for the authoritarian and anti-free speech left. She knows exactly how they operate because she's been the target of their ire and corrupt campaigns. And this, of course, dates back all the way to 2019 when she completely eviscerated Kamala Harris on stage in the primary debates.
Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place. That impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
As we know, that one exchange alone sent Kamala Harris's polling numbers plummeting to 1% basically overnight. Tulsi Gabbard exposed Kamala Harris as a total fraud and complete lightweight. And obviously, the corrupt Democrat establishment couldn't handle that. They didn't like that very much. And so how did they respond? Right, they made Tulsi public enemy number one. Hillary Clinton goes on a podcast with former Obama advisor David Plouffe and just casually suggests that Tulsi Gabbard is a Russian asset being groomed for a third-party run. And then, of course, Clinton's spokesperson, Nick Merrill, was asked about Hillary Clinton's comment, and he doubled down. This is not some outlandish claim, he says. This is reality. If the Russian propaganda machine, both their state media and their bot and troll operations, is backing a candidate aligned with their interests, that is just a reality. It is not speculation. Okay, so I guess if you align with the Russians on any particular issue, according to Hillary Clinton, you're now a Russian asset. Absolutely frickin' insane. Again, she knows their wicked ways. She knows exactly what they're up to, and she's the perfect person to come in and do what's right and really what's needed. Tulsi Gabbard has proven that she has a spine, something that's very rare in Washington, and that's exactly what the intelligence community needs right now. She's a veteran. She actually upholds the Constitution. She's not afraid to stand up to the corrupt establishment. She's already taken on Biden, Kamala, and even Hillary Clinton. She always stands up for what's right, and she never backs down in the face of these smear and intimidation campaigns. She's the exact person needed to restore integrity into the intelligence community. And she proved it once again with her incredible grasp of the issues, hitting all the most important notes during her confirmation hearing. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.